I have sent my first salary home to my mom via M-Pesa. It boiled my head. It was such a task. For some reason, many things that I wanted to go right for me in the first 3 months as a maid in Saudi was so tough. But salary yangu ya kwanza imeenda home, yay. Imefika na imerushwa kwa bank na najua hiyo maneno itaendelea kukua mzuri. I told you most of my things were not, many things I wanted, like I wanted a Saudi Simcard because the place I was living at, the house had no internet. And I was, imagine, unajua, Saudi, and before I went to Saudi, there's this song that came out. Exactly before I went to Saudi, it was like, house arrest, you know? And I keep telling you, so many things communicate to me. That's how things communicate to me. I was going for house arrest. I felt like I was in a house arrest because there was no movement. You wake up in the morning. The routine in the morning is upike. They love coffee, Arabic coffee. It's very strong coffee, and I liked it. And it is you cook the coffee, Arabic coffee, gahwa, and shai. You know, I told you, if you are a Swahili speaker, you may not get very lost in an Arabic speaking country. Most Arabi sounds like Swahili, and I used to understand, honestly. So you unapika gahwa shahi in the morning, maybe hobs. Hobs is mkate that does not have oil. From ungangano, and lunchtime inafika unapika rose dijaj ama rose laham. Dijaj ni kuku, laham ni nyama ya mbuzi, and that's it. From January to December, that's all. That's how you operate. That routine does not change. But I remembered when I missed ugali, there's an Arabic ugali called asida. Asida is a form of ugali made from ungangano. And yeah, when I had really missed ugali, I used to make it and I used to enjoy it. And you make that with nyama, and wanakata nyama ya mbuzi kubwa kubwa, then you make some soup, shoruba, and you eat. And then one of the things I liked is that they love salata. Salata is at least in their food there is salad. And there would be jirjir. I found out was like some baby sukuma wiki that were not so fully grown, and you'd eat them raw. And I like their food. It was sweet and nice. The monotony, you know, me, I'm a person who loves change. It's a weakness or it's a strength, because I also find it hard to stay put in one place for a long time. For example, now if you're following me on socials, I'm saying the place I'm at right now, and I'm thinking about leaving. I have a problem with staying put. I love excitement. I love adventure. And one of the things I'm learning from my Saudi experience is that is my problem. Life is not exciting all day, every day. It is not good all day, every day. Life has seasons, and how we handle those tough seasons, like how I was handling my lack of employment, is what determines what happens. For example, when I lacked employment, I was overthinking, I was feeling disadvantaged, I was feeling left out. I was feeling like God had left me out. And what made me go to Saudi is because I was fearing to hustle. I was fearing to get my hands dirty. As a young person, let me advise you, Saudi is viable. There are people who are there even now, 10 years and counting. They have been able to do things, but it's a tricky place. It is not news. I grew up hearing Saudi stories even when I was young. I went there, I have a story of my own. It is not a joke, it's a risky place to go. it is a very risky place to go, and I'm going to share why. I'm still sharing why. I'm telling you, Saudi is not your normal place. And Arabs are not, I don't know about other Arabs, but Saudi Arabs are spiritual people. They are people with gifts. They are people with hidden powers that they hide, but they are not your everyday person. Anyway, I was saying, I'm lost. I'm saying life is not about excitement. You cannot be excited from January to December. And that is my, the way an Arab now accepting that life, like when life became monotonous, that the excitement of being in Saudi was dying. And that's how I operate. I move with emotions, and in this life, yeah, you cannot move with emotions. You don't leave a place because you're emotional. And yeah, those are some of my lessons, which I'll continue sharing. But we are at my story about the first few months in Saudi. I have sent my first salary home. Yay, it was such a task. There are a few things I wanted to do for myself. For example, hakuna entertainment Saudi. Unakaa kwa nyumba Monday to Sunday. The routine is the same, food is the same. Watu waongei lugha unaelewa. Man, it was deep. It was deep for me, because now vitu nilikuwa nimeweka kwa nime download kwa internet zilikuwa ninaziwatch mara 10 zinanibo. Sikuwa na entertainment. So kukosa internet ilikuwa inanisumbua. I wanted to have some form of entertainment. Distraction is good, my guys. Hata kwa hii life, you need some form of distraction from thinking about your daily struggles. Life is about overcoming challenges. Life is not yay, dance every day. Life has seasons. And the quicker you accept that, the better you have the capacity to handle the challenges that are likely to meet you. So that by vitu mingi nilikuwa nimeambiwa nitajibaia. And one thing I noticed as I continued living in Saudi, the Saudis respond to your mind. Do you remember me telling you when I first went to that place, I thought it was low income? I even feared there would be no machines to help me wash. Yeah, it looks like a low income area. That thinking, they were responding to it. You remember me having to fight for everything, for them to buy me anything, and they were telling me I'll buy for myself everything. I now realize this is after some thinking. They were responding to my thoughts of kuwabeba hivi, kuwabeba maskini. So they were like, jibaie, si unaona sisi hatuna. Those people respond to your thoughts and treat you. The treatment you're going to get in Saudi is very based on you. Literally. You're going to determine your experience in Saudi with your thinking. I remember even one time, because I really was thinking that place was low income, they were buying water. Kulikuwa na lori na kuja inaweka maji kwa tank. And that was also reminding me so much of home. Mtu ameishi Longonot. Hi. Sikuna shida ya maji. That place was a desert, and it used to remind me of Longonot. The way lori inaleta maji inaweka kwa tank used to remind me of home. My sponsor, I was told to call him Baba. We call my father Baba. And this man was reminding me so much of my dad. Even the way he wore his watch, his behavior. He used to remind me so much of my dad, honestly. Even they almost resemble each other physically. His wife had, I told my mom this, I have shared this with my family and it's my experience. His wife had characteristics, especially kitchen characteristics, that were similar to my mom. I don't want to say them here because mom thinks I am attacking her. I'm not. But they used to remind me so much of home. The people and the place and the way things were going. So anyway, one time when the lorry was inaweka maji, mtu anakuja kutumana anasema, I don't want to jump, but there was that girl that was sent to tell me that ata Shoshana, I used to call that mama was working for Shosh. Shosh ata hana pesa ya kulipia maji. So I was like, hey. sasa nitalipo aje kama watu wanakosa mpaka, yani it used to instill a lot of fear in me, but I noticed these people are responding to my mind and the way I was thinking about their home. Take care of how you're thinking about where you are. If you're a girl in Saudi, probably you're suffering because you are not thinking good thoughts about those people. Change your brains and test my theory and then watch. So anyway, and also when I left to go for Saudi, as Beth personally, the way I was getting my life and what I would have expected life to turn out, I was feeling like Saudi was not a place for me. So I went there with negativity again. And no, most girls who go there wanaenda majuu. That was not the feeling for me. Nilikuwa nasikia Saudi. So also a thing I'm learning is I have always approached life with half empty glass of water. I am always looking at the negatives, and one of the things I have learned from my struggle is just gratitude, and I'm still struggling with it. Like, just even if it is this small job I have opened, just like I say, I'm still dissatisfied with it, and I want more, just wanting more. Also, that was my problem, and I'm telling you, I don't know where these things came from, but I have been there. I have gone to therapy, and I've been told my problems. And when these Saudis experience, they call it, and I get this information from everywhere. I had gone to school to learn about life, and Saudi is definitely heaven, and this is how heaven views life. So yeah, for me, I'm always looking at things that have not happened and not appreciating what I have. But before I jump into the lessons, I'm just saying that this place was reminding me so much of home, and they were kind of responding to my thought of carrying their place heavy and seeing them like they were people who were poor. That's why most of the things walikuwa nasema nitajifanyia. I remember when I said I needed a card, so because walikuwa wamesema if I get a Saudi SIM card naweza jibaia data, kujibaia. And I was ready because I really wanted to have internet connection. Before then, because they really refused for me to get a SIM card before I could have my ID, and a Saudi ID comes out after 3 months. And I said it's after 3 months because these people are testing whether they will like you, whether you are good enough to live in their home. And some of the tests include even men coming to your room. In the first few months, month ya kwanza imeisha, ya pili imeingia, nimeanza kumit watu wanatembea, ni after Ramadan time, this like Christmas time, that's when people go home and meet and gather. That is also what happens there. And one thing I enjoyed about Ramadan, I had read on internet, girls were warning everywhere. Ramadan time is a very tasky time. I had rolled my sleeves and prepared to do the work. But it was not that tough. I think for me, having psychologically prepared for a lot of work, I aced that, and it was not so much. Another thing I liked about Ramadan is kunipaka hina. It was such a task because unapakwa, unalala nayo. I used to escape it, but every time I was pretending not to hear wanataka kunipaka hina. Shosh, my good room. I liked that woman. Shosh and her special son were the people I lived with the most. she would insist and ningepakwa aki mtu alikuwa analala na hiyo hina na sijui mikono ufai kufanya nini. It was a task, but the results were always good. I will share. So I started learning their culture. I started enjoying the things they do. I had gone there to experience life, have a different experience, and it was coming. So anyway, and when there's one of her sons visited with the wife, and the wife had a mini Wi-Fi. What do we call them? This portable Wi-Fi thing is. When he was around, I enjoyed. I would get connected to the internet. It was such a wonderful time. That is the second month. Hiyo ikaisha. Tena nikatumia mamdo nyumbani akaweka kwa my account. I'm really looking forward for the third month to come because I want to get my Simcard and start having my own internet yenye si controlliwi sana na yenye anybody who knows me nachukia kwenda kwenye hate interactions. I'm kind of an introverted person, and whenever there was no internet in the house, the other option was to go to Mama had a co-wife. Mama had a co-wife, and the next house was the other family's house, and I would go there and use the internet. The other house had the internet. And it was such like I would have to ask for permission, then move to the next house. And that was a good time because that is the only time you'd get some time to like see the outside. And when I was there, I don't know if it is me or any other person notices. Haki kukuwa na wanyama Saudi. I would look in the skies, hakuna birds. Tukienda huko kwa kutembea kwa, I told you I was in a rural place, walikuwa naeka mbuzi. Tukienda huko and there were mountainous areas na kulikuwa na camels na nini, nikiangalia sikuwa naona wanyama wengine apart from the camels. And yani I was thinking, when Saudi kunanga wild animals? No, I'm an environmentalist and a nature person, so these things were bothering me. Anyway, what I noticed were like when we used to go out, it was a very mountainous area. I used to enjoy the mountains. Uko kwa mbuzi, there was a tiny house that was very nicely groomed. Kulikuwa na hanging lights at night when tukiongea tukikula. I would see those and take pictures, and it was a nice experience. And I really used to like when ilikuwa inaitwa kwenda nje nak na nje ruhi nak. So tukienda huko nilikuwa na enjoy because this is the only time you get you. Hey guys, we are at the mountains. At the mountains with babies. Hey. Hi guys, I love you. Yes. Okay, let's go. Oh. Baby. But we are not going up there. La. Today I climbed a hill. I love you guys. Say hi. Okay. You'd get to leave the house. I had not contemplated how hard it is to live in the house from morning to evening, day in, day out. Although I'm an indoors person, my introverted life, I have always lived like this. But the difference with here, if I feel like, I can always go to the duka, buy something. There's movement. You are not constrained that much back home, like in Saudi. Nilikuwa nikitaka mafuta, natumana, naandika chenye nataka, napeana do, inatumanwa naletewa. Alai nilikuwa na miss kuona nje. Also when I left, I had this feeling of wanting to explore, just explore Saudi. So any chance I got to go out was a very wonderful time. Na hiyo kukosa hata kwenda kwa duka zao ilikuwa inasema, I wanted to see Saudi, I want to explore. But as time was moving by, when people visited, especially the ladies, they would hadia me. Hadia is a gift. some used to give me money, cash. So I would use that to buy my personal effects. Because I was told by my sponsor he was not going to buy anything for me. I'd have to, like, everything that I was going to want would come from my salary. And I think it is just the way I had the reception I gave their home. I think that was the whole problem. Because now that is how I think now. Saudi has made me a very spiritual person. And my sufferings after Saudi. But I don't want to jump ahead of the story. So your first month imeisha, watu wameanza kulipia tu pesa hapa na pale, nafurahia. Another challenge that I got is how girls used to say walikuwa wanachukuliwa wanapelekwa kwa house ingine kufanya job. And I used to feel terrible. You know, one time a person came, when I was thinking about that, because girls used to complain about that very much, I was thinking, mimi mtu akinikujia nitataka anilipe juu nilikuwa nimeshaambiwa nitaanza kujinunulia vitu. So hiyo bidon nikiweka inanisaidia na save juu. I told you the first thing, ile salary nilikuwa nimeambiwa ili 30k haikuwa inafika, ilikuwa inakuja around 26k. So ilikuwa blow kwangu. Every coin mattered. Hii sacrifice ya kwenda Saudi na kupata, nilikuwa na count every coin, ilikuwa ina matter manze. So nilikuwa like, mimi wakinikujia mtu aseme analilipa niende nifanye job, hii itakuwa na shida. Nitafanya job juu hiyo kado inaweza nisaidia. But the whole thing is like, I felt as a maid, and it helped me even, hata mimi nikakuwa in a position, and I told you when I went, I had been in a position of sort of supervised maids. I had been brought up by maids. So I kind of know how to relate, and I kind of know their problems because they used to be my friends, and we used to talk, some of them. So I was conversant with the maid's problem. Umeikuja kuchukuliwa ndo kafanya kwa nyumba nyingine. So nilikuwa nashangaa, mtu anakuja kukuomba wewe ni kifagio? Is it like you are an item? Umekuja kuomba uende ukafanya kazi kwa mtu mwingine. It was so offensive when I was viewing it from my perspective. And I used to refuse. Actually, I refused. And I was not refusing that strongly. It's only that one time a man came asking for me to go help him because his wife, and they marry many wives, I think that was his fourth wife, a young wife, had given birth, and he wanted me to go help her with maintaining the house. I felt bad because I felt like they were borrowing me like an item. And apart from that, I was like also jitteering and asking him if he's going to pay me, and he said he would pay me. That was no problem. But when he was leaving, he asked if I thought he was going to rape me because some was speaking English. That particular man was speaking English. That statement caught my ear. In my brain, there was nothing sexual about that whole interaction. So nilikuwa like, hey, rape imetoka wapi hapa? And I decided from that word, I'll not go anywhere where I didn't know. Because I didn't like how where did rape come from all of a sudden? So I refused to go. But I was considering it. And as time went by, nikijua watu, tukijuana, tukisalimiana, wakikuja parties, I would go even without being paid because I told you, as I interact with people, if I know you well, I create a very good bond with you and we get to be friends. So as time went by, tulikuwa tunapendana na hao watu. Hata nilikuwa natuma videos home nikisema venye I think I'm in a good place. Nina settle poa, nimewapenda. You know, they looked like good people at the time. So with time hata nilikuwa naenda kwingine naitwa na naenda nafanya job. Kujitolea tu juu nilikuwa nimewa-like. So anyway, second month imeisha. That inaingia, nimeanza kupewa kuhadiwa hapa karial hapa karial pale. Uto tu real shilingi 10, shilingi 5, wengine wanipea 50. 50 ni pesa mingi sana, ilikuwa inakuja around 500 Kenyan shillings. It was a good money. So that money would help me a lot kwa personal effects. Juu nikawa nimeambiwa sitanunuliwa na hata nikibuy kadi na kununua internet. So that month imeingia. I'm really looking forward to that month. Why? Ndio month ya kupata ID, nijue kama nitakaa kwa hiyo hawa mastercard. Na ndio month kama nitapata ID nitanunua kadi yangu ya Saudi na niweze kukuwa najibaia data yenye sitakuwa nashinda nikitembea kwa wenyewe ama nikipimiwa wifi. Ama independent junkie, napenda kujirepresent. So I was really looking forward to the third month. Imefika. And before that month ifike, nimeanza pia kutembeza watu. You know, Ramadan time they also move to houses, wanaenda parties huko kwa nafungulia kwingine. So when we'd go to parties, I was feeling kind of awkward. Because most of the families around the place I was, hawakuwa na mashagala, tulikuwa tunaitwa shagala. Hawakuwa na mashagala kama mimi. And you know, your opportunity ningetumia nipatane na watu, hata nilikuwa na look forward tupatane na mates mwingine tuongee. Nilikuwa nimemiss kuona watu wa home. That is, unataka kutembea na ukifika kutembea unapata ma challenges zingine. Aki nilikuwa lonely. Nilikuwa natamani nipatane na shagala mwingine, kwanza wa Kenya tubonge kiasi, nione mtu black kiasi nibambike. Hakukuwa. Na ukienda wako wanajua culture yao, wanaimba vitu zao, wanaketi, wanakulanga pamoja. I was feeling awkward. I didn't know how to conduct myself. So after some time nikaona hizi parties zinanifanya naenda tu kukaa awkwardly, sijui kitu cha kufanya. So nikadeciding nitakuwa na baki kwa nyumba. Kubaki kwa nyumba a few days, this baba started, whenever people would leave and go for parties, he would come back and even text me on my phone. He had my phone number. And anitextia WhatsApp. Na ananiuliza, hey, naweza nipatia dakika 5? So nikaanza kusema kumbuka nilikuwa nimeenda kuangalia kama Waarabu wanaume wana tabia tofauti na wanaume wetu huku. Sababu hata nikienda Saudi, swali ingine nilikuwa nayo kwa my mind, when I was suffering, it was a bad time in my life. Sikuwa na job. Relationships zangu hata personal zilikuwa zina fail. Most of the things were not working in my life. I had marriage problems, issues from the way I had observed marriage for almost that. I was 29 then. I was 28. For the 28 years I had lived on earth, nilikuwa nimeona marriage inasumbua kiasi. A marriage was on my mind. And hii tabia wanaume hiyo ya kukosa kuwajibika kwa relationship ilikuwa inanisumbua. Nilikuwa nimeona hii tabia hata hapa Kenya. So nilikuwa curious. So wakati huyu mbaba alianza kunitest hivyo, nikasema okay, nisha research done. Wanaume ni wanaume kila maha. No, wanaume tu ndio hawa tu. I told you, huko Saudi is the spirit world, we are the bodies. Yeah. And nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt. That is the way of life. Everything that controls this world is in Saudi. So anyway, the baba, and remember, what was so similar with my home, hata huku home, tunaitanga baba yangu baba. Huko nimeambiwa nimuite baba. Na sasa nikifikiria na tunasemanga baba wapi? Our Heavenly Father, baba wa mbinguni. And also a few things I want to mention here, so that what makes me think Saudi is heaven, apart throughout my psychological struggle and spiritual battles. Wasichana, tunaita aje mabosi wetu wa mama huko juu? Tunaitanga wa igoro neko. Just some of the few things I want to mention. Now, baba ameanza kunitext, ameanza kuja kwa hao, ameanza make advances. And you know, the bad thing with baba, I had liked him. He was funny, he was handsome, he was easy to get through. Remember, the first person I had met who took me from the airport was very stern and gopa, you know. So an easy-going Arab was so fun because anatoa woga. Ndani yako, it is a very fearful place to exist. With the news, kwanza ukiingia kwa internet kila siku unaambiwa mara watu wamenyongwa sijui wapi, mara wengine wameuliwa wapi, mara mwingine sijui wamenyang'anywa nini, mara mwingine halishwi, mara mwingine hajalipwa. Mashida mob zinakuweka uoga. I was under constant fear of many things going wrong in Saudi. So when you get an easygoing person, I was like, yeah, it was a relief. So this baba would come in and he would make advances towards me. Like, he would come and hug me. Sometimes he would peck me on my cheek. Those are really some kind of romantic things, but this started on the second month. But I was not worried. sexual harassment for a girl is not new. Even back home, I had faced so much sexual harassment, even from other places I'd worked in. I had handled it. Na mimi sikufikiria ni kitu ya kushout, sikufikiria ni kitu ya kutuma alarm. I was handling it, and anyway, I knew where I was not going to do dumb shit as I was thinking, but I was already doing dumb shit by allowing him to come and also texting him back on my WhatsApp. But I don't know, that was a thing that met me, and I thought in my back of my head, even in my intentions, I had no intention of acting stupid or dumb. And this man used to come this way and do this very many times. And whenever he would come in my room, he would then go and anatoa hiyo kanzu yao ananiambia nioshe. So as much as I was liking him, hiyo ilikuwa inaniacha na swali inaniacha kwani am I dirty? Nilikuwa nasikia kama mimi ni mchafu, but anyway haikuwa inamjalisha. I used to wash it, na dry juu ya machine na naikunja vizuri, na ipiga pasi na naiweka. I did not know this was signaling to the women like I'm sleeping with him already. So there are women in the second month already thinking na entertain wanaume wao. And he was not the only man coming to my room. There was another brother of his that used to come. He also used to peck me, and I was feeling like, hey, he plays. But I was like handling it. Honestly, I have handled so much worse situations in my life. I think I even have experienced a rape case back home. So, handling men and their sexual advances that are uncalled for, which is always a problem for me, because I was feeling like, yani, mpaka nikiwa huko, so I didn't know I was somewhere that could change the trajectory of so many things. So nilikuwa najiuliza na nauliza Mungu, yani mwanamke hawezi fanya kazi yake bila kusumbuliwa juu? Honestly, mimi sikuwa nimeenda huko kutafuta. And also those nani anaenda Saudi kutafuta mwanaume? Kwani uko na kichaa, unaona? So I was wondering, yani mwanamke hawezi fanya kazi yake ametulia hata kama ako peke yake kwa nyumba bila kuguzwa. Hata kuna mwingine alikuwa anakuja ananifondo my boobs, and I used to feel awful because it's not what I wanted. And I hate dramas, I hate shouting. So, and I thought I was handling this because of course I was not going to allow anything else to happen. They are men. And I was thinking sometimes hata huku unaspankiwa, unaguzaguzwa, unajua hata ukitembea huku kwa stage wakati mwingine you meet men who do this and it's wrong, and I hate it. And so unajua hata huku huwezi shout, ukishout wanaanza kukupigia kelele, and I have always had the plight of the woman in my heart. Mbona mwanamke hawezi tembea hii dunia bila kuharasiwa sexually? Just because we carry the things we carry doesn't give anyone the right to touch us anyhow without our permission. We deserve a respectful handling, you know? This was a thing that was I was thinking deeply when these men used to come into my room, especially those who used to touch me without my permission. I'm telling you, this one I didn't like. Baba, I liked. So even when he touched me, I was like, kind of okay. And it was nice because I also, remember, I'm also here for adventure. But in my adventure, and immediately he started coming to my room and me allowing him to touch me. There's a friend of mine tulikuwa tumeenda na yeye, akaanza kupost kwa status yake. Mtu alitoka Kenya na akaacha akili huko. And she used to post this regularly. Nilikuwa nasikia kama ananiambia something. Na tukikaka, marafiki wangu wanaanza kutuma videos za venye wasichana wanateseka after wa entertain wanaume wa huko. I remember there was a video that was sent. A girl aka-entertain mwanaume Mwarabu. They did everything on the video. They were recorded. And afterwards, when it was done, there were like 5 women who cut that girl up completely when she was alive. Man, it was iliniua, but me wa mosi juu natuanga wapi courage. Nilikuwa like, but that got me thinking. It still never disturbed me at the time because I was like, I was handling whatever was happening, and I was never going to have to allow, anyway, even without the fear of death, at back home, I always have carried the plight of the other woman in my heart. I have experienced the heart of being played. I have seen what that lack of commitment by men in relationship do. I have seen the heart. So even back home, hata hapa kwenye hakuna threat ya kukufa. It was always a thing I never liked, you know? I never entertained other people's men. It was my thing. So anyway, I knew he was coming and touching me and trying me and tempting me, but I was like, okay, this is what men do, and I'm not, anyway, I'm not going to entertain it. And anyway, he was nice. He was the one who was paying me, and he would come regularly to ask if there were things I needed and stuff. And yeah, I was thinking I was handling it, honestly. There was another brother of his, the other one who used to come, and also that one would even offer me money to have sex. He would offer me 100 real. 100 real is almost like 3,000 Kenyan shillings. And because I had liked these people, and also my approach to conflict resolution, I have always never liked dramas. So I would ask him, we'd even chat on Google Translate. I would ask him, so here you pay 3,000 shillings for sex. We would start chatting, and we'd chat, and we'd have a happy chat, and he would leave. I think this chatting, me, I was thinking I'm handling it myself, but the women in their houses back home were thinking, mimi nimechukua naume wao. I didn't know I was already making my environment a very hostile environment in my stupidity and dumbness and handling it myself. So anyway, I have started to kind of receive these sexual advances from men. And also many men that came around were like trying like to get a reaction from me. I could get this a lot. And of course I liked the Arab men. They're very handsome men. And yeah, I had just gone there to experience new things. So if someone is handsome, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're handsome. And that is of course in my mind. I would never say that out loud. But I noticed there was that coming of men were like parading themselves for me like to like. And I was feeling awkward and weird. And remember when I went there, I told you, there were very many questions about my marriage life. Like, do you have a husband? Are you married? Have you been married? Do you have kids? And I was like, there was so much prying. And I was like, but me, I'm I'm an honest person. I used to tell them I'm not married, but I am working on it. So I think that's why the men used to be brought in masses. Anyway, I had not gone there to look for men. I had gone there to save some money so that I would come back home and save myself from financial stress. Yeah, I was under financial stress because even when I was thinking about starting a business, ingebidi nisumbue wazazi wangu na hiyo ilikuwa inaniuma. At the time nilikuwa nasikia kama mimi ni burden, nilikuwa nasikia nimezeeka na sija achieve anything. Nilikuwa nasikia kama vitu mingi nilikuwa nimeogopa zinihapenie nikue a waste zilikuwa zimeanza kukama. Hata kwenda Saudi yenyewe nilikuwa nasikia kama already nimefail in life. I was under a lot of stress. And remember nilikuwa nasema pia miguu yangu ilikuwa na fura. I think it was a response to my mental stress I was having, thinking about so many things in my life that has not worked. And I'll show you a picture of how my legs used to swell. Hata huku wakati mwingine my legs used to swell, and I would spend most of my time sleeping. When I got time, I would finish my work and sleep because I was like, I was seeing the reality of the decision I had made. I would just go into my room when I had finished work and say, Kai, meaning botch, meaning made. Sometimes I would really cry. But I was trying. Kila siku nikiamka najipea moyo na nikiona vitu poa na naona. I told you another stress of mine was kukaa kwa nyumba Monday to Sunday. And when I started thinking about how this was stressful, they started to organize going out on a few days, and I realized they are following your brain. They organize tunaenda out mahali nje tunakula na tuna have the rest of the day hapo nje na tuna enjoy. And I didn't notice that this had not happened with other girls. And remember this man, Baba, was coming into my room. So the women were taking this as special treatment. Me, I didn't know. I thought that is what they do. Jumi vitu nafanya siulizi, sija ask, nafikiria na zina happen. I didn't know how dangerous the life, And huko watu wengi, they get information. The most people that get information are the babas, the men. So the women are also depending on you, like the action they are seeing or what they are seeing. So they're also making conclusions from what they are seeing. It's a dangerous place because it's like the men are pitting you against their wives. It's like, unajua hata hapa Kenya wanaume wanapenda kufightiwa, and I have always made a decision. I'll never fight for a man. Why would I fight for someone who is deciding that it's another thing he wants? Kama unataka kitu ingine, wewe enda kwa hiyo wewe ni ya. I'll never fight another woman because of a man, and that has always been mine. And I think my mentality and my thinking is what saved me there. I didn't know I was already making my environment very dangerous. And when I was leaving, because I left because of these advances, and they went so far, I'll continue telling this story. There was a lady I liked, and she told me, the correct way, when a baba comes into your room, the correct way to do is to shout and throw them out. That shows the women that you're not interested and you're not entertaining them. I had failed. So if you're a girl, uko, na mwanaume anza kuku shout na useme utaki na uambie usisikii na useme venye unataka kuishi. Na kama inawezekana vitu, unajua yeye ndiye alikuwa ananibaia vitu na analeta. Me, I was like, I was there just to work and have a good time and know how they live. Miss Kuko kutafuta wanaume, but if that challenge came, I thought I was handling it, and I didn't see the need for dramas. Even there was a time when this man I told you he used to text me. There was a time I wrote in my text, I have only good intention for the family, and I had not come to cause trouble. And my WhatsApp right now, it's blocked. I would have shared some of these screenshots so that you can see for yourself. And I had the plight of the girl in my mind, like, msichana ndio anachokozwa na wewe ukianguka into temptation, wewe ndio unakufa, na the man has no sin. You committed the sexual sins together, but you are the one who is going to die. And I was like, kwani wanawake wa Saudi wanabeba ujinga aje na wanaume wao? Why would you fight another woman because of something someone is doing deliberately? Me na wanda huwa na carry pleasure. I would never fight another woman because of a man who is standing between us, and that has always been my stand. So anyway, nimeanza hizo ma challenges. Tumeanza kwenda nje wakati nimeanza kufikiria hii house arrest imekuwa kubwa sana. Naenda nje na take pictures na enjoy. I'm seeing the rocks, I'm seeing the scenery. The pictures you're going to see here, if you have never seen heaven, probably have a peek. And these are my thoughts, these are my opinions, these are my conclusions. You don't have to share them. These are Beth's opinion, and I remember I went there to find out what is wrong with Saudi. I am getting there. So, nimeanza kupelekwa out, and I'm not thinking this is signaling to the women, I'm entertaining their men, do napata special treatment. Hizi vitu nimeanza kuzi understand after a very long time, and this is why I'm sharing my Saudi story. It has been such a confusing story, and I'm getting clarity. Ndio sahi clarity inaniingia. I have lived under confusion. I have almost went mad. It has not been easy. It has not been easy, and I think I'm suffering. Sexual sin in Saudi is a big deal, and I think because the women thought I was already sleeping with their men, that's why I suffered. And they also have power, Zuko. But that miscommunication between men and women are getting their own stories. The man is creating a story that a woman is getting, and there is no truth. That is what makes us suffer as girls in Saudi. And I told you, kila kitu in Saudi, it's about marriage. These are spirits, and that Arab man is the man who has been trying to marry you off, because spirits use bodies. I told you this, I'm a vessel, and some spirits inhabit me when they come. That is how it works, the spiritual world. So that man is the man that is a spirit that has been in your boyfriends that have been trying to kuweka box uolewe. And when I was there, I noticed that most men I had ever dated had almost started a kind of reignition of a conversation. I noticed it. So I'm saying Saudi, there is a lot to do with marriage. And most of us who go there are girls who have a problem or have decided they'll never get married, or people who have left their marriages. whether they are young or older women. Saudi is about marriage, and it's about a man punishing you for refusing to kuvumilia nyumba yako na kulea nyumba yako. It's just that. And that's why women die cruelly huko. Because somehow God feels like the only thing a woman can do in this world is take care of a home. Bila wewe kuchunga wanaume na watoto, you are useless. And this, of course, not all men, because also some, and that's why I told you it's relative. Kuna places zingine Saudi, different places represent different people of different thinking. So kulingana kwenye unaenda, kama unaenda hivyo ni kwenye watu wengi wanafikirianga. Na si jokes. Unajua kuna watu wanafikiria wewe bila kuelewa wewe ni useless. Hakuna kitu kingine kama mwanamke. Different, kulingana kwenye unaenda ni kwenye watu wengi wanafikiria. Because I told you, on earth as it is in, and I used to tell my people, you could place in, I feel like home. And nobody ever replied. I wish I had those screenshots. Remember, these are the thoughts of Beth. And you're not obligated to share them. These are just what are my findings as Beth. And this is what is making me also have a fight with my family, because sometimes I feel like they are the ones who took me there. I keep telling them this because this is a spiritual message I keep getting. And settling in and loving them the same way after Saudi has been very tough. Sometimes I even almost get violent. Sometimes I get quiet. Following their conversations on internet is very hard because whatever they are discussing comes to me as an attack. I'm telling you, I have a new way of perceiving things. Very many things feel like an insult, attack on me and my decisions in life, and it has been a very tough existence after Saudi. So mwezi wa 3 unakaribia, have all those challenges. Mwezi wa 3 umekaribia, umefika, nimelipo. This time now, I'll take some of, wakati ilifika, niliambiwa kadi ni real 100. That is a 3K. Sijui ni kadi ya wapi, nilikuwa nafikiria, mimi sijui ni kadi za wapi zinakuanga expensive hivyo. Nilikuwa nasikia bado ninadanganywa. Get? But haikuwa inathuru juu nitanunua once na nijipange. Kadi ilikuwa 100 riyal, that is 3,000 Kenya shillings. Na sijui another 100 ya kubuy credit. Ilikuwa either 100 ama 50. So 150, that was around 5K just to buy data and have a SIM card. Wasn't that damn expensive? Hey, nilikuwa na complainia mabeshte wangu, na complain wapi. But that was it. Hata wengine waliniambia hivyo ndio, although wengine walibaiwa free. But mimi sikuwa naelewa mbona. But I told you, I think my mentality kwenda nikifikiria hiyo place yao hivyo nilifanya wakani kosa kunitekea care poa. Take care of your thoughts. These people follow your thoughts. How you're thinking about their homes. So anyway, hiyo ni 5K from my salary. Hey, nilikuwa nasikia kudai. Lakini nilikuwa nashangaa kwani huku hii place nitasave nini? Sasa imagine kila mwezi natoa 3K. Nilikuwa na expect kulipwa 30K. Sasa hizi tuko 26K. Tena nitoe 3K kila mwezi ya kubaingi data. Hey, sikilikuwa kinaniramba. Riski yangu ilikuwa ninaona kama ni ya bure juu sasa hata pesa nilikuwa na target haitafika. These are some of the challenges I faced in Saudi. I used to cry. I used to feel bad. It was tough, but I'm a resilient person. I used to calm down and make myself move on. So finally, I have a Saudi card. And the day we went to buy the card, remember, mimi nikienda huko sikuwa nimepewa uniform, nilikuwa navaa, hata wakati mwingine nilikuwa navaa hii dress. There are pictures of me with this dress. But nilikuwa navaa na t-shirt juu ya kuficha mkono, they never show anything, and nilikuwa navaa some leggings inside, you don't show leg. And walikuwa wanipatia vitu za kufunikia nywele. So nikienda kubai, na nilikuwa nimesoma kwa internet, wageni, because I was taking myself as a tourist, they can wear their dressing as long as it's decent. Wacha nikwambie ile siku nilijaribu kutoka bila abaya. Wanawake huko walikuwa wamepiga nduru. Hey! Walikuwa wamepiga nduru na mimi sijakataa. Si unajua ukiwa mahali papi hawako wamenipatia hizo nguo nikakataa kuvaa, hawako wamenipatia uniform nikakataa kuvaa. So I was wearing what I had and what I had bought back home thinking was appropriate for their home. So zingine nilikuwa navaa wana unaona wameshout sana, shangaa mimi nitafanya. Hawaja nipea nguo, hawaja nipea uniform, hawaja nipea baya. I think hiyo day ya kwenda kununua kadi ndio the first time nilipewa baya na nilipewa shusha. Ilikuwa mrefu ilibidi, but nilivaa tu, ilikuwa kubwa na mrefu. And also just getting comfortable wearing the abaya is such a difficult dress to wear for anyone who has lived free in a free world. And it was such an adjustment. And then I noticed when alikuwa nipeleka ni baba, whenever you get in the car, baba ndio alikuwa na chana nywele. It's like these men were always trying to it was like a kind of seduction. You know me, I'm who I am. The way I am observant person, I always felt like these men were seducing me, and especially this baba. But anyway, tulienda na tukanunua kadi. Kufika kwa place wanafika na uliza kama kuna mtu anajua English. Wengine nilikuwa naona kama wanajifanya ndio nisipate information. Tukanunua kadi anyway, tukiongea Kiarabu tu. Nikapewa kadi yangu na nikarudi home na nikafurahia juu sasa I would have my own internet. And also I could call my friends who were around Saudi who had gotten their numbers. It was a good thing. Instead of communicating on WhatsApp now, hata bila WhatsApp ningecall mabesho wangu wenye walikuwa around, tunabonga kiasi, tunaambiana venye tunapitiana, and I had made friends. I would look at how someone is communicating on WhatsApp group and I would befriend them. I had a few friends from that. I had made a few friends. So yeah, that is my first 3 months. Finally, I have an ID. Challenges imeanza kuingia. How am I going to handle it? Stay tuned.